Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Michelle's Podcast News. I'm your host, Michelle Tandler, and today we've got some exciting news from the podcasting community. This is episode number 42, and we're diving into NPR's 4th annual College Podcast Challenge. So let's get started. You know, everyone has a story to tell. That's how Professor Emily Sendin introduces the podcasting portion of her Intro to Communications class at Miami-Dade College. She tells her students that, no matter what kind of story, whether it be personal narrative, local or investigative reporting, or fiction, making a strong podcast is all about being authentic, vulnerable, and really putting your heart into it. After 3 years of running the College Podcast Challenge, the team at NPR's education desk has not only had the opportunity to listen and broadcast some of the best student-produced work in the country, but they've also met young people and educators who are as deeply interested and invested in podcasting as they are. And that's a good thing, because they're about to do it again. The NPR College Podcast Challenge is back for its 4th year, with a $5,000 cash prize and the opportunity to have your voice, your story, reach the NPR audience and beyond. So, if you have a passion project or a story you want to get off your chest, here's your chance to make it happen. Whether you're a seasoned student journalist working on a thesis project, or a math or science major recording your first podcast in your dorm room, NPR wants to hear from you. Many of the prior Standout entries have come from students with little or no podcasting or journalism experience. One of them was Sendin's student at Miami-Dade and last year's grand prize winner, Michael Vargas Arango. At the time, he was a 21-year-old business and psychology student who had recently moved to the United States from Colombia. Vargas Arango took the class assignment as a chance to open up about his rare mental health condition, schizoaffective disorder, with hopes of challenging misconceptions around mental illness. He took the contest as a motivator and gave himself a deadline to actually tell a story that's been sitting with him since he was diagnosed as a teenager. In the end, Vargas Arango tells us he was able to create something that he feels really good about sharing with the world. And well, the rest is history. So students, give it a shot, no matter where you go to school or what you're studying, or whether you're an international student at a U.S. college or university. NPR's team is eager to listen to your work as a part of their search to find the best student podcast in the country. Yes, of course, there are rules, and one key change this year. After limiting college students to 8 minutes or less in previous years, they've heard from students asking to accept longer, more thought-out audio projects. So they're going to give that a try this year. The new maximum length is 12 minutes. As in years past, longer entries will be disqualified. This year's College Podcast Challenge is open for entries as of today, September 19th, 2024, and will close on January 10th, 2025. That'll give you the fall academic term and the holidays, and a chance for students to submit your class final projects. NPR will choose 10 finalists, and from there, they'll award the winner a $5,000 scholarship with $500 prizes for the other finalists. Just like last year, the college contest will be open to students of all ages who are pursuing an associate's or bachelor's degree, as well as those who have already graduated earlier in 2024. This means that if you're a recent grad, you can still enter. There's one key difference between the college competition and NPR's Student Podcast Challenge for students in grades 5 to 12. Those younger entrants must have an adult submit their work. College podcasters, you can enter your own work without going through a professor, mentor, or your school, as long as you're 18 years or older. The basic guidelines remain pretty much the same. Students can create a podcast on any topic you wish to explore. To give you an idea, NPR listened to entries last year on why it feels impossible to find love, what it's like to completely unplug for a day in school, and a thoroughly reported story on book banning. Your podcast can also be in many different formats: an interview, narrative story, or even investigative reporting. You can do it by yourself, with a friend, or with your entire class. It's really up to you what you want to do and how you want to do it. To get you started, NPR has created a sound advice page that includes a range of podcasting resources on how to choose a topic, how to write in your own voice, how to edit audio, and use music in your podcast, among others. Even, and NPR is serious about this, how making a pillow fort can make you sound better. It's a trick their reporters and producers use when they're on the road. One contest tip, feel free to submit as many entries as you like. There is no way for NPR to tell whether you're sharing your first ever podcast or one of hundreds you've been working on. But again, they will listen to each and every one, so send them any work that you're proud of. You can find more tips and tricks on the Students Podcast, NPR's podcast on how to make a good podcast. New episodes are coming soon, so please keep an eye out. NPR also encourages you to get a feel for what they're looking for by listening to last year's winning podcast as well as previous year's winners. For more tips, advice, and the latest updates on this year's contest, make sure to sign up for NPR's weekly newsletter. Students, NPR can't wait to hear your stories, so on your mark, get set, record. That wraps up today's exciting update on NPR's 4th annual College Podcast Challenge. Thanks for tuning in to Michelle's podcast news. I'm Michelle Tandler, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Happy podcasting.